Welcome, clever home buyer. Welcome back. This is a rapid video on how to ask the right questions when you're at an open home so that you can place an offer that will be looked upon favorably by the seller. I'm anticipating that you're at an open home and you're walking around going, we want to place an offer on this home. Okay. If that's the case, they're probably handing out forms like this at the open home. This is one for Bell Property, and it's asking you, it's like a test. Oh, what answers are you going to put on your test so that you get the highest marks? Okay. Well, then you need to study for the test and you need to ask the right questions so you know enough information to put the correct information on here. So that's where this comes into it, asking the right questions of the sales agent. In today's rising property market, so we're looking at markets at the moment in Queensland that are pretty hot in a lot of areas. And you may not be watching this video from Queensland, but that's fine too. Ask the sales agent how they would like you to place the offer. Clever sales agents will say something like this: we have multiple interested buyers. And there's nothing wrong with that. The sales agents have to conduct themselves ethically. However, saying we have multiple interested buyers, that could be just because they've had 15 people look at the home and they're interested and they're people who are buying properties. So that makes sense, does it not? So we need to find out some clarification on just how many people are actually interested in this home. I remember a home recently that was offers over and they received the offers, and I spoke to the agent afterwards. 19 offers they received on that home. So depending upon the market that you're in will influence your FOMO, your fear of missing out, and the sales agents not helping when they say we have multiple interested buyers. So let's find out some more information about that. If the sales agent says that they have multiple offers, that's more information. So it's not just multiple interested buyers. They've actually got multiple offers. That means a few people have filled out this form and are excited to try and purchase the home. You want yours to sift up to the top of the pile, don't you? All right. So if there are multiple offers, it's likely that the home will be sold quickly. If you want to buy the home, you need to know what's going on. The sales agent will give you short answers to your questions and generally doesn't elaborate. Not in a hot market. They don't have time. They don't need to. So find out as much as you can. If it's likely that there isn't a lot of interest, then the sales agent is probably going to sit down and spend a lot more time talking to you and trying to manage your interest in the home. Tell the agent that you are seriously considering buying the home. It's not like a situation to keep your cards too close to your chest and feign lack of interest. If you are serious about buying the home, tell the sales agent, I'm serious about buying this home. Do not disclose your budget. Do not say, oh, we are so totally in love with this street because we grew up here. Keep the emotion out of it, but make no bones about it. We are serious in this home. Make sure you keep us in the loop with everything that's going on. And to find out more, tell the agent you are seriously considering buying the home. Missing the submission deadline is an easy way to lose a home you love. So there will often be a deadline. Have your exam filled out, put your test paper in by 4 o'clock on Monday, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's find out how we can get the best information onto our test paper. And how do we do that? We find as much information as we can about the situation and ask a lot of questions. So to the sales agent, how do you want the offers to be submitted? Obviously, if they've given you a form, they're happy for you to fill out this form. The form might also be something that you can fill out online. That's happening more and more nowadays. And so if you really want to get the agent's attention, you can print it out, put it in an envelope and pass it to them and put it in their hand. You could put a letter with it if you really want to influence the seller and explain that we're a young family. We love what you've done with the home here. We want to continue in the style that you're creating here. We will love and honor the home whilst we growing our family in it. You could put a letter like that in there if you think that will influence the seller, because it's not always just about the dollar. You need to find out a lot more information about that seller, so that, because there's more on here than just the dollar as well. So let's find out about that. How many offers have you received? Well, we go into a lot more about this in a future module. We've got a future module that's all about placing offers, but this is quick and succinct because you may be going to an open home today and you need to know. Are they in writing? Are the offers in writing, or have they just been verbal? If they're a verbal offer, it doesn't mean anything. They have to be in writing, but being in writing can be text message, email, filling out that form. It can be that you've filled out this form and you've taken a photograph of it with your phone and sent that photograph to the agent. That's fine too. Ask if the other offers are in writing. Are they serious really? Did they actually fill out the form? If an offer's been made, what are the conditions? So when you place an offer on a home that you want to buy, and I know that I've got lots more about this in the module about placing an offer and understanding contracts, but when you place an offer, there are conditions that you can state. You need the contract to have these conditions in it, or you're not going to buy the home. Keeping your piece of paper here as clean of conditions as possible is attractive to the seller. Does the seller like any of the other offers that were made? The sales agent should be very straight-faced and say, I'm not at liberty to discuss that, but they may give you a hint or an indication. There's no harm in asking these questions. However, the sales agent doesn't have to answer them. When will the seller decide? Well, they should answer that one because there's usually a deadline on when to place offers. Is there a deadline? There you go. Will there be negotiations after the seller views the offers, or is it just best and final? So imagine there's a pile of offers that go to the seller. They're flicking through them. They like this one that's on the top because it's got the most money written on the piece of paper. But this one here has got almost that much money. They don't need finance. So this offer is not subject to finance. Well, that makes it just as attractive to this one, because this one, we're going to have to wait for them to get their finance, and maybe that's not going to happen. Or there might be another offer over here and they are even less again, but they're happy to have the same settlement period as what the seller wants. So after these have been received, what negotiations will take place? Maybe it's just best and final, but maybe there'll be negotiations. Sometimes they'll say it's best and final, and then they'll call you for negotiating. And we have a whole module on negotiating. Because when you think about it, when the sales agent rings you about your offer and says, we would like to discuss your offer, they are sitting at their desk. They've got all their ducks in a row. They've got their notes here. They know what they're going to say. They know what outcome they need. And they call you and you're just at the gym. And it's like, you want to know now if I'll pay an extra $15,000? What do you say? That's why we have a whole module on negotiations. All right, other questions here. What terms would be the most attractive to the seller? Obviously, there's a term for building and pest inspections. There's a term for getting your finance in your bank account. So the finance is probably pre-approved. If you're one of my students, you'll already have that duck lined up in the other row with the other ducks. However, you still need to get the bank to release that money for you to buy the home. So how long is that going to take? If you can make sure that your mortgage broker is on the ball and has got everything ready to start the ball rolling immediately, then your time frame might be a lot shorter than somebody else. And it depends on the bank that you're going with as well. How will you process my offer after I have submitted it? What do they do with these pieces of paper? What's the next step? How are they going to, what's their process? Quite often they'll meet with the seller and they'll take the offers to the seller and they'll go through them with the seller. Sometimes they'll just speak with the seller on the phone. So what's their process? Another question to ask at an open home is, will they consider selling prior to auction? And we've got a whole module on auctions, but sometimes they'll say, no, they're not taking offers before auction, and then you see it sold before auction. So say to this, if the sales agent says, no, we're not taking offers before auction, say to them, fine, but please let me know if the seller starts looking at offers before auction, will you please include me in the negotiations? How will you stay in touch with me during the process? That all depends on how hungry the sales agent is. Do you have a contract I can peruse? They should. Are there any special conditions in that contract? Will you contact me when the seller is viewing the offers so that I am involved in the negotiations? So these questions, ask them at the open home. If you don't know the answers to any of these questions, ask them at the open home. If the agent looks about to be too busy, say to them, I'll be calling you, or can you call me this afternoon? So I've got some questions I want to ask you about this home because we're serious about it. Anyway, that's why I have included that into the module of inspecting homes, because you're at module 4 right now and you don't know what's down the track. If you are serious about wanting to put an offer in and purchase a home, there is a heck of a lot more information that you need to know to make sure that your offer is favorably viewed by the seller. I think this video went for a bit longer than I meant it to, but I'm really hoping that I drummed into you the importance of having a good, solid relationship with the sales agent and letting the sales agent know you're serious about the home, keeping most of your cards close to your chest, keeping your ducks in a row so you can pounce when you're ready to, and understanding that submitting an offer is not as simple as just putting some numbers on a piece of paper. And that's why I have a whole module on how to do that properly. But I just needed you to know about this now. Have a great day.